Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is Wednesday. I feel like I haven't live streamed in an absolute age. Obviously it's been well over a week since we last streamed. Done a couple of videos since then of course, so a big thank you for all of the support on them. But we're back to live streaming, back to the usual stuff. That's what we like, that's what we love to see. We're here to talk about the Norwich game on Saturday. Of course it is the live game preview. You know, usually I would do the game previews on a Thursday, but you know what? I thought I haven't done a stream in over a week. I'm dead excited to get involved. We've done a little bit of an international roundup. We've done the video about Steve Walsh's comments on Monday. So we're now here to do the game preview to the game against Norwich at the weekend. Football is back. Everton are back. And, you know, it's coming at a good time for Evertonians to say, obviously coming off the back of an international break in which, you know, I'd say a fair few of the first team squad done well for their individual countries. Gylfi Sigurdsson scoring the winner for Iceland. We see Moise Kean slotting and scoring a brace for Italy under 21's yesterday. We're going to talk about Moise Kean in today's game preview. Of course, we've seen Alex Iwobi doing well as well for Nigeria. Jordan Pickford done well at Wembley last week as well for England. So a decent international break for the Everton lads, but now obviously it's back to what's the most important, and that is Everton Football Club. Obviously coming off the back of a really solid 2-1 win against Southampton. Not the greatest performance, not the best game of football you'll ever watch, but a performance that we desperately needed, and a result that we desperately needed at the end of the day. Listen, we've gone far too long without an away win. You know, we haven't had one this season. We massively struggled last season. I think we only picked up 5 or 6 away wins in the whole of last season. And Southampton was a game that we specifically struggled in. So obviously, you know, it was a big result. It was a big win for Everton, and we spoke about in the game review how that could give it, you know, a lot of confidence to the players going forward. How it might help us get over that mental block if there is one, regarding away performances and regarding away results. So obviously, it's a good time for us to get back into it. We're playing Norwich, bottom of the table. You know, couldn't ask for a better team to be playing really when you're trying to get back into form and you're trying to get results and when you're trying to get points on the board. Obviously, we're playing Norwich. They are 20th in the Premier League, 2 wins, 1 draw and 9 losses. Actually started the season pretty well. Obviously currently on 7 points, beating Manchester City, which is one of their 2 wins this season, arguably the biggest win of the season for any football club so far in the Premier League. Obviously they come close against Chelsea, being beaten by 3-2, and done quite well against Liverpool as well in the opening day, despite, you know, being beaten 4 or 5-1, was it 4-1? They still made a pretty good account of themselves for the first game back in the Premier League for quite some time. So Norwich started the season, I'd say, relatively well. They were a team that for me were always going to be one of the favourites to go down at the start, and then when I seen them in the first couple of games I thought, actually, you know what, these might have a little bit of something, they might have a little bit of personality to be able to, you know, obviously stay in the Premier League. But then it sort of spiralled out of control since then. Not picked up any wins whatsoever. They've been being beaten consistently. Players like Pukki, who were impressing so much at the start of the season for them, are really starting to fall off a little bit now. And, you know, Norwich are in a bad spell, and Norwich aren't performing. So it's a perfect time really for Everton to meet them at Goodison Park, and hopefully for us to go out there and put in a pretty dominant performance and get the 3 points. Because at the end of the day, you know, that's all that matters. We said that in the game review to the Southampton game. Look, it wasn't a perfect game of football. It wasn't a fantastic performance. It wasn't a brilliant performance in many ways. But at the end of the day, we needed the 3 points, and we went out there and got the 3 points, and that's all that's important. And very similar for Saturday. Listen, we need a win on Saturday. We desperately need the 3 points, and Marco Silva will convey all of this in his press conference reaction on Friday, I think it is, or tomorrow. But at the end of the day, we could really do with a real top performance as well, a big performance, because I think if there's anything that motivates the players, if there's anything that motivates the fans the most, it's not just a result, it's not just a win, it's a real dominant performance against the side that we should be going out there and we should be dominating. We're under no illusion as a fan base that, you know, we mightn't dominate sides, you know, games against like Leicester's or your West Ham's, or, you know, even the bigger teams, your Chelsea's and Arsenal's, because they're teams that should be coming into Goodison Park and should be, you know, giving us a game. But the likes of Norwich, considering how poor they've been in the last few weeks, and considering how poor they've been for the majority of this season, like I said, other than the first couple of weeks, we should be taking Norwich to Goodison Park, and we should be absolutely playing them off the park, considering the quality that we have on the pitch, and obviously the confidence that the lads will have got from that result against Southampton. This game is massive for me on Saturday, and we really need to go out there and we really need to make a statement. Chris says, hi mate, football is back. It certainly is. Thanks for getting involved, Chris. And Andy says, Hoball is welcome. As usual, predicted starting 11 is Bosch. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in just a second. Hopefully it's a similar starting 11, if not the starting 11 that Marco Silva goes with, but obviously we can never be sure about that. Ziad says, Jose to Spurs, thoughts? Bit of a weird one. I tweeted this out yesterday. If anything, it shows that Spurs had a plan. Obviously, to get rid of Pochettino within a matter of hours to appoint, a manager like Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho isn't a manager that you call up and you just say, do you want to come and manage us? And he goes, yeah, and it's done straight away. There's certain situations in football where football clubs may sack a manager and then they may appoint a manager like a couple of hours later, but usually that'd be somebody that was already within the club or somebody that could come in very, very easily. Solskjaer's one with Manchester United's a good example. Obviously, when we brought Unsworth in, it was a man within the club who, would have snapped at that opportunity to take that call. And I'm not saying that Jose Mourinho didn't snap at the opportunity to take the Tottenham job, because I'm sure he did, because, he's been talking for quite some while now about his want to get back into English football. But I can assure you that definitely wasn't a case of Pochettino was sacked and within 10 minutes they picked up the phone and Jose Mourinho had signed the contract. This is something that had been planned for quite some time, and this is something that Tottenham Hotspur had thought about for quite some time as well. It's a bit strange, isn't it, really, seeing Mourinho now managing Tottenham, obviously after ultimately failing at Manchester United and, after it going sour at Chelsea. It's a little bit strange. In regards to Pochettino, obviously he's had a poor start of the season, you can't get over that. I'm a mixed feelings with Pochettino personally, and I don't want to talk too much into this because it's got nothing to do with Everton or the game on Saturday, so maybe we'll talk about it on a separate stream. But, for me, Pochettino's done really, really well at Tottenham to get them where they are, but ultimately he's not won anything, so has he succeeded at Tottenham? I don't know, but anyway, like I said, I'm not going to go too far into that. Chris says, my prediction, Everton 1, Norwich 0. Everton should beat Norwich, we certainly should. Chris says, would you take Pochettino at Everton? I probably would, but I don't think Marco Silva's going to get sacked at any time soon, so it's no point really talking about it. Same with Benitez. CJ says, fucking pissed off that Jose's gone to Spurs, feel like sulking. Kadir says, hi mate, Jose Mourinho, Tottenham. Yeah, it's the big topic, isn't it? It's the big topic of the last, 24 hours. It's been a little bit hectic in regards to that. Chris says, for some reason, I thought Mourinho would go to Everton just on the basis he's managed in London and Manchester. Hasn't managed on Merseyside. He probably would have gone to Everton if Silva had been sacked before Pochettino and where they've approached him in the same way that Tottenham did. I don't think he's a loyal man. I don't think he's gone to Tottenham because he likes Tottenham or he specifically wants to manage Tottenham. I think he's gone to Tottenham because they'll pay him a heck of a lot of money and it's a job at the end of the day, and that's where he's going to follow. So yeah, it says, if Silva gets sacked now, who'd you go for? I don't know, mate. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't think Marco Silva's going to get sacked at any point soon. I really, really don't. Wayne says, hope you're good, Cam. Norwich was my tip to finish bottom. If we don't beat Norwich, should sack Silva and get Pochettino. We definitely need to beat Norwich, and I think Marco Silva will be under a lot of scrutiny from Evertonians if we don't get the 3 points on Saturday. Lav, it says, as harsh as that sounds, that's just the way to run a club. Do you want to join us? If so, we'll sack our current boss. It is the way to run a club. I 100% agree with you. And if Everton were to sack Marco Silva, or Everton had plans to sack Marco Silva, I would absolutely hope that we do it in exactly the same way as Tottenham have done it. Approach the manager, make sure that whoever's going to come in to replace Marco Silva is there to step in the very next day, if not the same day, rather than all this sack the manager and then go, right, who comes in now? Because then you'd have a period of 2 to 3 months where you've got no one, and it's just a dead period in the football club, and we can't afford that, especially not Everton at the moment. Wayne says, mate, you should make some leaflets up, hand them out at the Everton games and post them as you live. Liverpool a bit cold now, though. It is. Maybe it's something I'll look at doing in the future. And Andy says, do you have an Everton tattoo yet? What is that on your arm? That's a quote on my arm. It's not to do with Everton, and there are a couple of little bits and bobs close to my family. I've got Nil Satter's Nizzy Optimum tattooed on my chest, but I'm not going to get my top off. And Lavid says, approach then sack. Ziad says, Ollie to Everton, no chance, mate. I wouldn't take Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer if you passed me him with strawberry sauce on, cream on top, and chocolate sprinkles. I literally wouldn't take him because I don't rate him whatsoever. Anyway, listen, back into the game against Norwich, obviously, on Saturday. A massive game for Everton. Not only a game that we massively need to win because we need to start picking up points, like we've said about, over the next couple of weeks. We've got some real tough fixtures certainly going into December. We play Leicester twice, we play Liverpool, we play Chelsea, we play all of the top teams within a space of 2 or 3 weeks. So we need to start picking up points in the games against sides like Norwich. No disrespect to you, but we should be beating all day every day at Goodison Park. So it's a massive game, and it's a big opportunity for some players that mightn't have necessarily had an opportunity yet this season. So whilst saying that, and while we're on the topic, we'll go into my predicted starting 11. So I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal, like I said. Played against Montenegro last Thursday for England. I was there at Wembley. I watched them first and didn't really have to do much, as I'm sure you'll have known if you've seen the game. Montenegro on a fantastic side, let's be fair to them. But he did make a couple of good saves. They did have one specific header, I believe it was, off a corner, and he made a fantastic save for that. So Jordan Pickford in goal. Have gone for a back four of Luca Dean at left back, of course, self-explanatory. Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina at centre half, and Djibril Sidibe at right back. Really funny story coming out about Djibril Sidibe over the last 24 hours about him first turning up to Finch Farm, USM Finch Farm, in a red sack suit. Nothing to do with Liverpool. Not on purpose, just turned up. Obviously in one of his red sack suits that he enjoys wearing, that he likes, and he was basically given loads of dirty looks and told to never wear red ever again. So there you go. That's the bitterness now of our football club, and that's what you love to see, isn't it? That's what you love to hear. Stories like that. Don't be coming in here with anything red on, mate, because we do not tolerate red in this football club. So really, really funny story there from Djibril Sidibe. He starts at right back. I thought he was really, really good last time out against Southampton. He was all over the pitch. He was constantly moving about. He was constantly picking up the ball, and he was constantly putting pressure on Southampton's attackers. There was a couple of times that their winger got the better of him, but he made sure he knew where he was. And for me, Djibril Sidibe, his performance against Southampton was very much that of a player that was all over the pitch constantly. Every time, we picked the ball up, every time we seemed to have doing anything, of note going forward, Djibril Sidibe was always at the heart of that, and obviously got that assist for Richarlison's goal, which ultimately ended up being the winner. So fantastic performance from him. He stays in the team at right back. Again, what more do you have to say about Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina? They've been fantastic since they've come in. Really, really solid partnership that they're growing there. Michael Keane, for me, hasn't done anywhere near enough to break that partnership, hasn't done anywhere near enough to get back into this team. So Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate are the two centre half, and like we said, Luca Dean plays at left back. Gone for the midfield 2 or 3, whatever you want to call it, of Gylfi, Sigurdsson, Tom Davies and Alex Iwobi. Obviously, we've still got some real big injuries in that midfield. Andre Gomez is still out due to, the injury that he got against Spurs. Fabian Delph still a doubt, obviously, after he picked up an injury before the game against Southampton and then was ultimately taken out of the England side. Morgan Schneiderlin, who has picked up a number of small injuries over the last couple of weeks as well. So I've gone for the midfield 3 of Alex Iwobi, Tom Davies and Gylfi Sigurdsson. I think it's a midfield 3 that can provide a lot of quality with Gylfi Sigurdsson on the ball, a lot of pace and movement with Alex Iwobi, and a lot of ability to pick the ball up and run and not be afraid to run in Tom Davies. And I think it could be a real positive midfield 3 on Saturday afternoon. And then obviously I've gone for a front 4 of Richarlison on the left. I've gone for Theo Walcott on the right, or a front 3, sorry. Richarlison on the left, Theo Walcott on the right, and I've gone for Moise Kean up front. Now listen, Richarlison's self-explanatory for me. As long as Richarlison's fit, Richarlison should be playing every single week. He's a match winner. I've been saying it for months and months and months. I don't really care about the way he goes down too easily, and sometimes he should stay on his feet. Yeah, he should, and that's something that Marco Silva will work with him constantly to say, you can't be going down constantly. You have to stand up, you have to use your strength, you have to use your power, and that's fair enough, and we can have those conversations with him. But I sit at Goodison Park every single other week watching, Richarlison. Whenever we're at home, I sit at Goodison Park, and some of the fans, some Evertonians that want him out the team, get him out, he's not good enough this, he's not good enough that, because he might put himself on the floor too easily. I think they seem to forget that this lad wins more games for Everton than any other player. He's constantly in the right place at the right time, and that was epitomised Saturday before last against Southampton when he scored the winner. Yes, it was a really good cross by Djibril Sidibe, but it still needed somebody to be there at that time to put it in the back of the net, and Richarlison was that man, just like he's been that man many a time this season and many a time last season as well. And for me, he needs to be in there, and every time he is fit and he's able to play, Richarlison starts for me. I've gone for Theo Walcott on the right again. I put Theo in there because I think he's the only natural right winger that we've currently got that could play there. I'm not a big fan of pushing Moise Kean out to the right hand side because we see now, he struggled in previous games playing there. I'm not a massive fan of doing it with Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. I think Dom can play on the wing better than Moise Kean can, if that makes sense, but I'm still not a big fan of putting Dom out there. I think, Theo Walker provides a lot of pace, he provides a lot of experience, and for me, I don't think he's been overly fantastic over the last couple of weeks and months, but I think he's been playing well, so for me, Theo's in there. And I've gone for Moise Kean up front. Now listen, Moise Kean's a player that I think has got mixed reactions from some fans. A lot of fans on Twitter, a lot more fans than I would have expected, saying that they don't believe he's good enough and that, he should, at the very least go out on loan or even be sold because he's simply not good enough. I think the lad's a fantastic young player with loads of potential. He needs to be given his opportunity, he needs to be given a run in the team, and he needs to be given a chance. And by a chance, I don't mean 20 minutes at the end of a game, half an hour at the end of the game, or one game, starting one game, and if he doesn't play well, taking him back out then and then throwing him back on the bench. Obviously, we know he missed the Southampton game due to being late to a team meeting prior to that, so Marco Silva took him out of it. Marco Silva punished him, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Listen, the lad has to work with by the rules, and he has to follow every other rule that every other player does. Marco Silva said it's absolutely nothing to worry about. He's told him that it's not acceptable. The player understands it. He's working fantastically hard in training, and it's only a one-off occurrence. So there's no need to go into talking about his attitude or talking about whether he's got the right attitude like some dickhead pundits did when he first signed. But he was taken out of that game for the right reasons because he was punished for not following the rules. And that's exactly what should have happened, but that's done now. That's in the past. Marco Silva said that it was it's a one-off thing. He's punished him for it, and then we can put it behind us now. Obviously, Moise Kean scored twice for Italy's under-21s yesterday. Two really good goals. He scored a brace. I think they ended up winning 3-0 in the end. And I think Moise Kean's the type of player that, like I said, we need to give a chance to. And we said this about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and we've said this about Tom Davies. And I think they're two players specifically that have performed really well this season. So Tom Davies at the minute is absolutely fantastic, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's our current highest goal scorer. So it would be ignorant to say that those two players haven't improved this season, haven't been given periods of time in the team last season and at the start of this season. And I think Moise Kean needs exactly that as well. He needs a run in the team. He doesn't need 20 minutes, he doesn't need half an hour and then taken out. He doesn't need one start and then he doesn't really do much in 60 minutes so he comes out. He needs a good run in the team where he's consistently playing week in, week out. And he is a player that you're going to have to put up with the frustrations of, exactly like Richarlison. We're going to have to put up with being frustrated by Moise Kean. We're going to have to put up with him being a little bit annoying and with him doing things that you sort of go, no, don't do that, do something else. And that's because he's a young player coming in from a totally different country, doesn't speak the language, new to the system, new to the club, like I said, new to the country, new to the culture. So it's going to take him time to settle in, and the only way he's going to settle in if he's consistently playing football in this system and he's consistently playing so he understands how to settle in. Like I said, really good performance from him for Italy's under-21s yesterday, and for me he deserves his opportunity now to go in the starting 11. And it might be a little bit sly on Dom, it might be a little bit unfortunate for Dom, but we've bought a player in Moise Kean for £40 million, and I'm not really willing to sit here and go, well, we won't play him because it might be a little bit sly on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. For me, you spend that much money on a striker that's touted as one of the best young talents in Europe. I don't really give a fuck who it's sly on or who it's, it doesn't favour well with. He needs to be playing and he needs to be in this team and he needs to be performing, and for me, the only way he's going to do that is if he's given a decent run. So I've gone for Moise Kean up front. I think it's a positive starting 11. I think it's an interesting starting 11, and I think it's an exciting starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on my predicted starting 11 in the comment section down below, of course. Leave me yours as well. If you disagree with it, leave me yours in the comments. If you agree with it, why did you agree with it? Let's dive straight back in to the live comments now. Football fan says, hi, I'm going 0-0. I hope not, mate. We massively need this win, and there's no excuse for us to not get the 3 points on Saturday. Ziad says, Pickford next Everton manager. He's still got a long way to go in his career yet, mate. Lavvid says, regarding Moise Kean, would you agree right player, wrong time? Maybe. Listen, Moise Kean's a player that would have he would have been unbelievable for Everton. It would have had a natural number 9 who was bagging 15, 20 goals a season consistently for Everton. If we had Lukaku still in this team and we brought Moise Kean in a year or two before Lukaku was leaving, knowing that Lukaku was going to move on, with the ability for Moise Kean to play next to Lukaku or play alongside Lukaku and learn off of him and pick up his ability, then it would have totally been the right player at the right time. I think when we've put Moise Kean in, or when Marco Silva's put Moise Kean in, I think he's been given a little bit too much responsibility, and I don't think he quite knows how to handle that responsibility. But irregardless, we haven't got a 20 to 30 goal a season striker. We haven't got that experienced striker that would naturally help Dominic Calvert-Lewin, would naturally help Moise Kean. So for me, it's just about getting him in now and giving him his chance in the team. Wayne says, like the team may feel like Holgate being eased into the team on a few easier fixtures. Hope he can get cut in December when the fixtures get tougher. Yeah, he needs to, mate. Definitely needs to. Hernandez says, how do you feel about Sidibe saying Liverpool is a sad city and he lives in Manchester? Haven't been to Liverpool yet, but will definitely be going next within the next year. I didn't read that, to be honest with you, mate. I didn't know he said that. Listen, a lot of footballers live out of the city and out of, you know, town and elsewhere. I wouldn't be too happy if he said that, just because I think it's disrespectful to the city. But I don't know. I haven't seen him say that personally. But it's not a sad city, and it definitely won't be a sad city when we win on Saturday. Kadir says spoiled Kean out. Ziad says Pep or Klopp. Pep. Jose or Pep. Pep. Kadir says, it's David Moyes. No, I don't want David Moyes back. Wada says, where will Everton finish? Hopefully within the top 10. Hopefully within the top 7 or 8, to be honest, but that might be wishing at the minute. Ziad says Everton women beat Liverpool women. They did. We spoke about it on Monday's video. Obviously 1-0, really good win for the Everton women at Anfield. Fantastic game. Some real tough performances in that game as well, and some fantastic defensive performances. Darren says, you know, Mancini dropped him to Italy under 21s. He was late to training. Does he need a watch? Listen, he's a young kid. You know, I think it'd be unfair for us to go in at him for things like being late to training and you know, stuff like that. He needs to cut it out, obviously. He needs to massively sort of time keeping out, but he's a young lad, and he's going to make silly mistakes. He's 19, he's being given stupid amounts of money, and he's being given all of this, you know, talk about him being one of the best that, you know, his country has seen for quite some time. So he's going to pick these things up, but it's important that we teach them out of him and that we sit down with him, and he has people at the club, maybe Duncan Ferguson, maybe Marco Silva, who sits down and says, listen, this isn't acceptable and you need to cut this out. Steve says, Cam, would you just sell Cheng in January? We're not going to play him. Hopefully we don't like. I reckon he's a belter player. Yeah, I think Cheng Tosun probably will leave in January, to be honest with you. I know he's not favoured in Marco Silva's plans at all. I think he's a good player, and I think he would suit a team in the Premier League. I just don't know who that team is, and I definitely don't think it's Everton. I don't think he suits our style of play, and I don't think he suits our system, purely because I don't think he's got enough pace. But I can see him leaving the club in January, if I'm being honest with you. As he has his red shite, any merch. Not yet, mate. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do merch because I don't know. I don't really like. So maybe I'll bring a t-shirt out at some point. Maybe it won't just say Mighty Blues though. It'll be something cool with an Everton style on it or something. Lavvid says, should Silva pick the ladies team in the December fixture? They'll probably do a lot better than the men's team have done, I'll tell you that. But anyway, listen, it's a big game on Saturday for Everton. Obviously, we know it's a massive game, and we know we need to get in there and we need to get the 3 points. And like I said, for me, first and foremost, we need to win the game. We need to go in and we need to get the win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. And if we get the win through coming off Richarlison's arse in the last second, or coming off Sigurdsson's head, or it being a deflected finish, or a penalty in the last 10 minutes, I don't really care. As long as we get the 3 points, that's all that matters. But I think I'm with everyone here in saying that it will be absolutely lovely for us to go out there and put in a real dominant performance and absolutely blow Norwich out the park. Now, that's no disrespect to Norwich, and that's not me saying that, you know, we're more than likely going to go there and absolutely blather them and win this game 3 or 4-0, because it'd be absolutely stupid of me to be confident that Everton could even go and get a win because of how inconsistent we've been recently. Obviously, we got a really good win against Southampton last time I was away from home, which is massive for the confidence of the players, which is massive for the morale in the dressing room, and which is massive for the club in itself, for the fans, for Marco Silva, for the players. But you know, this is Everton Football Club, and anything can happen. So for me, the most important thing on Saturday afternoon is the 3 points. Obviously, like I said, we'll have Marco Silva's pre-game press conference reaction on Friday, so don't forget to join us for that one. Makes to be a really interesting one. We'll be talking about everything that Marco Silva discusses in his pre-game press conference. But yeah, for me, listen, it will be absolutely unbelievable for us to go out there and blow Norwich out the park and put in an absolutely unbelievable performance and win 4, 5 or 6-0. But for me, as long as we get the 3 points, that's all that matters. And you know, again, it's another 3 points on the board then going into what is a real tough December period for the football club, when we'll be coming up against some real tough opposition. So 3 points or nothing again on Saturday, very similar to the game against Southampton. We need the win, and nothing other than the win is acceptable. I'd like to think that we could go out there and get the win quite convincingly and put in a decent performance, and you know, go out there and like I said, get a decent convincing win. But this is Everton, so as long as it's a win, that's all that matters to me, and I think that's all that matters to 99% of us. As long as we get the points on the board, then that's the most important, isn't it? Ziad says favourite Everton player, Tom Davis at the minute probably, or Richarlison, or Luca Dean. Take your pick. Ziad says, will women ever overtake men in football in years to come? I don't know, but women's football is definitely on the rise, and obviously that's fantastic to see. And Wayne says, gotta run, mate, keep up the good work. This channel is boss up the toffees. Have a good weekend, peeps. Easy 3 points. Thank you very much, Wayne, and thanks for getting involved. And I hope you have a good weekend too. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's team. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. We're nearly on 1.1k now, so a big thank you for all of the support. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Share the stream, share the channel out to all your friends, all your family, you know, everybody that, you know, wants to get involved and wants to come and talk about Everton Football Club and wants to come and talk about football as well. Like I said, don't forget to join us on Friday for the press conference reaction to Marco Silva's pre-game press conference ahead of this game on Saturday. Massive game for Everton, a must win, and we need to go out there and we need to get the 3 points, and nothing other than the 3 points matters. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Please do hit that like button if you have enjoyed. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at MightyBluesYT, just down there, to keep up to date with all of the latest Everton news and information. Go and check out the video about Steve Walsh and his comments, which we recorded and uploaded on Monday. We also talk about the Everton women's victory over Liverpool women's as well, so go and check that one out. Ziad says, Ollie to Everton, please take him. No, I don't want him, mate. You can keep him. I don't want him anywhere near Everton. Anyway, big thanks to everybody for watching. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you on Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.